You ever had a boss so terrible, so mind-blowingly incompetent, that you honestly started questioning reality? Like, maybe you were in some kind of twisted social experiment just to see how much nonsense a person could take before snapping? Yeah, that was Mark. Mark wasn't just bad at his job. He redefined the art of being a terrible boss. He was lazy but took credit for everyone else's work. He micromanaged, but only when it was inconvenient for us. He made horrible decisions and then blamed us when things went wrong. And the worst part? He thought he was a genius. But don't worry, karma was brewing, and when it hit, oh, it was glorious. So let me set the scene. We were in the middle of a huge client deal, one of the biggest our department had ever handled. If we pulled it off, it would mean major bonuses, maybe even promotions. But of course, Mark was running the show, so naturally it became a complete disaster. First, Mark promised the client something completely impossible. He told them we could deliver a fully customized software system in 2 weeks. 2 weeks. When the actual timeline was at least 6 months. I mean, maybe if we all quit sleeping, eating, and breathing, we could almost get a demo running in that time. But a full system? Delusional. When we tried to tell him this, he hit us with his favorite phrase, "Let's just circle back on that." Translation? Shut up and do it anyway. Then things got worse. Mark, in his infinite wisdom, decided he didn't actually want to be involved in the project. Instead, he spent his days working from home, which really meant golfing and posting inspirational leadership quotes on LinkedIn. Meanwhile, the rest of us were drowning, scrambling to make some version of this project work. The breaking point came when Mark scheduled a major presentation with the client and then just didn't show up. He ghosted, vanished, poof. We found out later that he had double booked himself for a massage. But that's not even the best part. The best part is what happened next. The client, rightfully furious, demanded an explanation. Since Mark was too busy getting his shoulders rubbed, the responsibility fell on us to fix his mess. So, we scrambled to throw together a backup presentation, and you know what? We actually pulled it off. We turned that disaster into something semi-impressive. The client wasn't thrilled, but they were at least willing to keep talking. And then, Mark finally reappeared. Sweaty, disheveled, still in his spa robe. Yes, you heard that right. His actual spa robe. And had the audacity to walk into the office, stand in front of the team, and say, "Great job, guys." This was a huge win for us. We all just stared at him. A win? This man abandoned a multi-million-dollar deal for a hot stone treatment and thought we should be celebrating? But karma? Oh, karma wasn't done. See, what Mark didn't realize was that the client wasn't just willing to keep talking. They had been so put off by his absence that they decided to do some background research. Turns out, Mark had been inflating his resume, lying about his experience, and oh yeah, wasn't even qualified for his job. And the twist? The CEO of the client's company used to work with Mark, and not in a good way. Within hours, our company's higher-ups were made aware of everything. The fake credentials, the ghosting, the LinkedIn nonsense, the spa day betrayal. Mark was fired so fast his head probably spun. One minute, he was sipping an overpriced smoothie in his office, and the next, security was escorting him out, carrying a sad little cardboard box of his things. And just when we thought it couldn't get better, our department was called in for an emergency meeting. Our CEO walked in, shook his head, and said, "We owe you all an apology. Mark was a mistake." Then, he announced that not only was Mark gone, but because of the actual work we had done, the client still wanted to move forward. And we'd all be getting bonuses. Moral of the story? Terrible bosses always get what's coming to them. Maybe not today, maybe not tomorrow. But trust me, karma never forgets. Ever had a boss like Mark? Tell me everything. I need to hear these stories.